Turns out these guys don't take kindly to emulation and challenge Rango to a shootout, only to run away shortly after. But why run?
'Cause Big Bird's back and he's gonna kill everyone! Quick, grab a coat hanger!
Thank you for digging up horrible memories, Husky. So a chase scene happens again, and after a bit of toilet humor, Rango manages to flatten the bird with a single bullet. That's some economical destruction right there.
Yeah, like that one time I blew up a garbage truck with 2 cotton balls and a mousetrap. So the owls lie to us again, and Rango is off to see the mayor.
Water, Mr. Rango. Control the water, and you control everything.
Code Red, we have a villain! Repeat, we have villain!
So here we have the Mayor of Dirt. So here we have the Mayor of Dirt, who will never be called by an actual name, voiced by Ned Beatty. As Husky might have suggested, he's going to be our villain for this plot. This villain is rather interesting because he seems to understand Rango's true nature.
Do you wash any of your socks, man?
You can just feel how this villain is setting up Rango to be the pawn for whatever scheme he has planned, saying the right word to appeal to his vain and, as of yet, shallow nature, as he officially appoints our hero as Sheriff of Dirt.
Yeah, big words, whatever. Slapping people! Our hero, ladies and gents. It turns out that Wendy's at noon is their weekly act creepy and worship water day as everyone goes to line up to get water. What was it you said about this movie being subtle?
Well, this movie is both subtle and unsubtle.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it showcases techniques of highly skilled storytelling with the clownish, farcical humor distributed throughout, which actually helps bring those deeper moments to a greater sense of poignancy.
Shh, let's just move on. It's okay. But when the mayor turns the spigot, only an eye full of mud plops out.
Then comes mass hysteria. Yeah, like that. Rango learns that his city essentially uses water as currency, and that the bank is running dry. Throw that on top of the fact that the spigot didn't yield any water this week, and Rango can only come to a single conclusion.
You folks have a water problem!
He's smart! That's why he's their sheriff! That evening, Rango proves how smart he is by falling for a bunch of bank robbers telling him they're prospectors, and then basically tells them how to rob their bank.
Much obliged.
The bank's being robbed! The bank's being robbed! Oh my gasp, who'd have thunk it?
So Rango forms a posse.
Farm a possum!
Because he's smart.
Now, we ride.
But when he realizes that he doesn't know where he's going, he comes back and tries actually figuring out what to do. I'll give you a hint. It involves that hole.
Ooh, you're good.
Can I gut shoot someone?
I like her! Well, that happened. Anyway, they follow a water pipe in the underground tunnel all the way to a dead guy. Kids movie!
That's actually the banker from earlier in the film. Oddly enough, he died via drowning. For the record, death by drowning in a desert environment is not an effective means of assassination for the following reasons.
First off, it's hard to get that much water in a place like that, so that's one strike already.
Strike 2, actually getting that much water creates a lot of questions and will really narrow down the suspect list to you, the guy who has access to all the water.
Strike 3, it takes too long.
The ideal hit is quick, cheap, and easy to distance yourself from. And that's why the Death Note is every assassin's dream tool. Leaf? Why do you know so much about killing people?
Jerry, what part of ninja did you not understand?
Well, yeah, but I've never actually seen you kill anybody. That's kind of the idea. I could give you an object lesson if you like.
Oh no, I'm good,
Now then, He knows where the mole's tunnel leads, and the dead guy is a fair indication that they're right on track. So, what's the next logical step?
Now, we ride.
He smarted! That rocked. After that awesome ride of awesome, they camp out, and one of the beauty pageant winners they brought with them asked Rango about the spirit of the West, which he doesn't actually know anything about.
Still, it's a fun little scene. Rango recounts the description given to him by the dead armadillo about the spirit.
They say he rides in an alabaster carriage with golden guardians to protect him. But he only appears to those who have undertaken an epic quest and have made it to the other side.
But yes, this is the part where our hero buries himself
deeper into the guacamole of his own deception.
Racist! But funny. But most importantly is the fact that that introduces the character named Rattlesnake Jake.
You mean my brother? Your brother? That's what I said!
Smart!
Rango is basically caught up in the momentum of his own pretend scenario. The lie has become so true in his own mind that he can't quite comprehend the fact that... I'm done.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Positive?
Yes.
Chicken tenders?
I'm going to hurt you. Beans goes on to tell Rango about a type of cactus called the Spanish dagger.
Also known as the walking cactus, serving as an obvious piece of magical realism foreshadowing for the climax. Also, Beans freezes again, and Rango gives her a hesitant creeper kiss. Hey, wait a minute!
The next day, they all track down the water thieves, and Rango sees this as the perfect opportunity to dress in drag.
Smart!
Menace, I expect you to fix this. So right when Rango thinks he has the thieves right where he wants them, turns out they have backup. And this is... Menace! And this scene is the biggest reason this movie is controversial as to whether or not it's safe for children.
He's got guns, violent deaths, possibly, and 9 kinds of awesome going on from start to finish. But whether it's safe for kids or not, Rango is at least having a good time. Seriously though, this scene is awesome!
And that's why we're not going to show any more of it.
Ha ha!
But after that super exciting scene, it turns out that the big water jug they had been fighting over was empty. Turns out someone had emptied out the jug before the thieves ever got to it. But the posse members are so angry that they take in the would-be thieves anyway.
And then they go back to dirt all depressed and... This sucks! What happened to all the awesomeness in this movie?
It's called drama, Husky. Take this scene, for example. Rango confronts the mayor of the city because, like I explained before, killing someone with water in a desert setting will pretty much give you away.
So the mayor gives Rango his villain speech about how cowboys are old-fashioned and behind the times, blah, blah, blah.
This isn't actually a problem. Themes like these always come down to execution. A lazily made movie uses the theme because they don't want to think of anything creative. This film uses these themes because it makes them work.
Now let's get back to this creative masterpiece full of coolness and awesomeness and... Oh, yeah, right. Not freaking tasteless at all. Jerks.
The townsfolk start a lynch riot because they want to hang the water thieves in a real helpless mob mentality scenario. But Rango delivers a speech about how as long as that sign says he's sheriff, then there will be order in this town. Which kinda leaves him open to a very obvious rebuttal.
What? I got it for Christmas! Actually, it was this guy, Rattlesnake Jake, briefly mentioned in the campfire scene, who shot down the sign. And he looks freaking awesome! He has a freaking giant snake with like poisonous fangs and a freaking machine gun tail. Machine gun tail! That is awesome!
Rattlesnake Jake proceeds to expose Rango for what he is, or rather, what he's not, in front of everyone. He's no sheriff, he's never been to the West, and when asked exactly what he is, he answers,
I'm nobody.
I know what Doug Walker had to say about this scene, and while he is right in many ways, here's the thing.
Screw him! This is awesome!
A tad overstated, perhaps, but this scene was necessary for a film like this. And given how strong the rest of the movie was, I can say that it works, and it doesn't really hurt the movie in any significant way.
In fact, it paves the way for a reveal of spoilerific proportions!
The spirit of the West.
That's right. The spirit of the West is none other than Clint freaking Eastwood! And this is where Rango finally learns what his story's been missing this entire time.
It's not about you. It's about them. No man can walk out on his own story.
That's right. A hero's story is not really about the hero, as Rango seems to have thought before, but about the world around him and what he chooses to do about it. Without a world to be in, the hero really isn't anything. Identity is not self-contained. It cannot exist in a vacuum.
Now he's got himself a world to save and a cause to fight for. It's time to be awesome!
Let's wrap this up and finish this adventure. The walking cacti start actually walking. Rango figures out the mayor has been controlling the water supply with an emergency shut-off valve. Rango stops by the mole people to get their help, makes a dramatic entrance back to town, calls out Rattlesnake Jake. Jake answers. Zombie Armadillo conducts the cacti to turn off the emergency valve so that it floods the town. Jake wastes all of his ammo shooting at bats that are too far for him to mow down. The mayor locks Rango and Beans back in the town vault. The mayor attempts to kill Rattlesnake Jake because he doesn't need him anymore, but fails, and one little bullet somehow makes the entire vault door fall apart. Comeuppance happens, and the day is saved. Rango didn't die, meaning those freaking owls lied to us.
The end! Wow, that feels good.
This movie was like running my face over a pile of razor blades. Sorry, force of habit. This movie was amazing. I mean, what can I say? This movie was a fascinating character study on the nature of identity and what it means to be someone. But the real question was never about whether this movie was good, but whether it qualifies as a children's movie given its violent scenes and unnerving visuals. I know this is going to seem like a bit of a cop-out, but I really don't think I'm qualified to make that call by myself. In many ways, this is the epitome of everything I think a kid's movie should be. Everything a person can enjoy on one level as a child, but enjoy even more as he grows older and wiser. But movies like this can be too intense for younger viewers, even if the story itself is simple enough to follow. At the end of the day, it's up to parents to decide whether or not kids can handle the movie this rough or not reviewers. If there are other movies that you want to show your kids but are not quite sure about, leave a comment below. It's possible I may have reviewed it, and if not, I might just do so.
You think we're gonna get like a jillion requests for Frozen next?
Let it go, Husky.